Good evening. Welcome to the very first live Tuesday Night Movie Club. And the reason it's live is because it's our 50th episode.
Oop, etc.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oop. My name is John Rain, and joining me, as always, are the best mechanic in the business, Dr. Dean Burnett.
Promoted from wet mechanic to just mechanic. I like it. Very good.
Yep. And below us, in a kind of university challenge way, is the city and county of Swansea Jones, aka professional Welshman, Dr. Dan Thomas.
Good evening, everyone. Oh, look, the comments are already coming in about your tie, Dean.
Of course, yeah. 50th anniversary. Go dress up anniversary.
We didn't know we were supposed to be wearing a tie. Turns out Dean's been wearing a tie for 49 weeks and no one could see him.
Absolutely stifling some weeks. Really unpleasant. But, you know, stuff for your art.
He got confused because I said it's our 50th, so we should go out for some tie. And that's a terrible joke.
Yeah, it's not the worst start to anything, as we'll see.
No. We're here to talk about Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, a.k.a. the film everybody pretends doesn't exist.
It's a fucking hit.
What?
It made money, this. But
of course, it did. It's because it's the first in 30-odd years, so everyone goes to see it.
It was a flop. That trailer as well. You wait 19 years it was. You get that trailer and the first two gags. It starts off there, dum, and you see his silhouette and you're like, here he is. He's back. And you get two jokes about how fucking old he is right off the bat.
Yeah.
Well, there's no getting away from that, is there, really?
You could pretend just for the trailer that Indy's back.
He could do a sort of James Corden style pelvic thrust outside the car.
Yeah.
That'd be a good way to shoot yourself.
Still got it. For a bit of jump shoot or something. That'd be great.
Shall we jump in? Friends in the comments, we'll get to you as we go along, but I think we better get this trainer moving. So I think it's going to be a long one, as John Holmes' wife used to say. So we begin with the Paramount logo, and that's where we know we're in trouble, because in the previous films we've had, in the first one we get a lovely majestic mountain, second one it's a gong, third one another mountain, this one a fucking CG gopher.
But you still get the Paramount logo. That was the fuckery for the first 4 seconds, just like they've used the old logo. And I remember thinking distinctly, oh, we're going to be fine. And I've never had a rug pull that away from me quicker than that CGI gopher. And gopher imagery turns up and thought, right, this is bollocks then. This is going to be bollocks. Because I remember thinking, it'll be all practical effects. It won't all be CGI.
Also, Spielberg promised that. He said it's going to be shot on film. It's going to be all practical. Bollocks. None of it was. But I remember my heart sinking. I mean, it sank so far, it fell out of my trouser leg. Went out to the cinema. I went to the pub. It was very depressing.
I contend that it's worse than the opening gopher in Caddyshack 2, because that's animatronic, but it looks cheap, and the whole film is cheap. Whereas this, people should know better here. This is clearly...
Oh, come on, it looks brilliant. It looks great. Oh, actually, there is one thing missing. There we go. That's better. That's better.
So watch that. That sounds fun.
But we get this American Graffiti 1950 style. Hey, hip daddy-o, let's have a race.
Were teenagers like clinically insane in the 50s? Because that seemed like a bad thing to do, just to challenge a military convoy to a drag race or whatever the hell they're doing.
I was going to say, you challenge another car, not a fucking army truck.
That's what I was thinking. That seems unwise.
Also, why do you start with an action sequence with 4 people? We don't know who the fuck they are. We don't care who the fuck they are. Get to Indiana Jones. Oh, you can't because he's in a boot. It's been 19 years. Do something straight away, you old man.
Gotta save it for the gophers, man.
I'd like to talk about that because they get into the base. It turns out, lads, it's Area 51. And they get in there, and the guy on the gate is like, no, you can't come in. And then they shoot them all. But now, we always talk about the infamous WhatsApp group. And I think it's about time I lifted the curtain, because sometimes we send each other random videos that sound like we're drunk. So I wanted to capture the video I sent you guys earlier and share with everybody at home, because this is an important detail. It's a bit shoddy. Have a look. Look at this guy. Look. He's not even shooting. One of them wasn't even shooting. He was pretending to shoot. Nothing was coming out.
Like the guy pretending to sweep in Casino Royale, isn't it? Just
exactly. I feel like we've got a new contender. Look at this guy. Look. He's not even shooting.
It's like he's run out of bullets and he doesn't want to be the guy who goes, guys, can I borrow? Has anyone got any more bullets?
What? So you're just trained to?
Well, you
I
just
think-
want nobody to notice, yeah. It's like it might be his
Right.
first day. He doesn't want to
Yeah.
cause a fuss.
From the look on his face, he might have been trying to make the noise. He might have been miming along with it.
No one will know that I fucked up. It's my first time at Area 51. I'm so embarrassed.
So they
Not
get
really
into
right
Area
back.
51, and then they open the boot, and out gets one middle-aged man and one old man. The fucking stink in there. Can you imagine? Imagine if he gets in and Mac's like, "Oh, sorry, Jonesy, I had a really spicy enchilada last night. It's gonna be an horrible journey."
And it's just full of Werther's originals.
Mm.
Just
They
constant
spell out.
complaints about the hips. Oh, it's just with murder.
So they get out. They get out. Indy turns around, looks at all the guards, and goes, "Russians." I was like, "Well, who kidnapped you then? The Chinese? Weren't they Russian when they kidnapped you?"
Maybe he didn't know.
We don't find out. I suppose he just gets a bunk in the head and gets knocked into the boot. Maybe it's
It was
Yeah,
like
well-
Blackadder 2. They said, "Excuse me, Meister." And then when he went to talk in there, listen, they hit him over the head with a stick.
It surprised him when he went for his early bird special. Dinner at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah. I haven't had me pills.
There's that moment there where the guy who's basically the way that they break in Area 51 is the colonel, the fake Russian bloke, walks up pretending to be a colonel, and then they're like, "All right, and well, we can't let you in either." And then he bends down to tie his shoelaces, and there's 15 Russians with machine guns lined up directly behind him.
Yeah, it's very weird choreography. It's really
There's
strange.
no way to do that. Anyone could, because it's not like all the guards are in the same position line from where the camera is. They're on either side. They're going to see a bunch of guys just lining up like cannons behind them with machine guns, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, in the desert.
And one of
in the
them's
middle
not
of
even
the day,
shooting.
Well, no, but I forgive him.
Maybe he was the decoy.
Okay.
So nothing to worry about. That guy can't. He hasn't even got any bullets. Clearly, so it's just fine. Maybe.
I hope he got
Sold.
AIDS. So, yeah, and Harrison Ford delivers his first few lines of dialogue on this. Doesn't he sound a bit off?
Yeah, he sounds tired. I think.
He's like, "Put your hands down, will you? You're embarrassing me."
Meds are kicking in. Not bad.
And then Spalko arrives. So we meet Spalko, and who looks a bit like Mystic Meg, and she behaves like Mystic Meg.
Wait, is his name Spalko?
Spalko.
Do you know what? Didn't even notice when I was watching that. Was the name?
No,
Spalko. What should we call it? Yeah, let's see what comes out. What's that spell? Spalko? Yeah.
I think I remember a bit when he refers to her as Spalko, and I thought he was taking the piss. Some sort of like American copy ball to learn her name. Deal with Spalko. So okay, that's really her name then. Fair enough.
No, that's genuine her name. Yeah. Her full name's Spalko the Magic Piano. Joke for the kids there.
I'm too young for that one. Oh well.
Huh?
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Never mind. We'll
Right,
brush
any
over it.
comment? Anyone? Okay.
Someone will know. Someone will know Spalko. Sparky the Magic Piano. Come on. She says to him, "I have 2 orders from Lenin." I thought, well, you better go and pick him up. Because I know things. And she tries to do mind reading. Now, at this point, the dean in the WhatsApp chat said, "I've realized who Spalko is." And he sent me this clip, which I'm going to play for all of us right now.
Hello, my name is Dr. Hildegard Landstrom, and I am quite mad.
Are you really? How absolutely splendid.
There we go.
Pretty much exactly the voice she's going for, isn't it?
We know that she's been watching lots of Red Dwarf in preparation for this role. Now, also, I discovered something. Sorry to be clip heavy, but I discovered this today, and I'm very pleased about it. Spalko's theme sounds like John Williams is trying to tell us something. Okay, listen closely. You might hear what he's trying to say. Right? Am I alone in that?
No, it's remarkable. If that's a coincidence, it must be the most unlikely one on earth, surely.
I feel like John Williams, or I feel increasingly doesn't want to do films anymore, but gets forced into doing it because he's John Williams. I think that's a cry from help from him going, "This is an old man and he's running around and falling down bathtubs."
Mountains and stuff. Yeah.
Thing is,
And
no,
John,
I've
yeah.
said this before. He nicks from himself and he nicks from other people. Now, this is not a funny fact. If you've ever seen Ice Cold and Alex, the Rebel March from Star Wars is just nicked from a film 20 years older than it.
And now he's nicking from Ronnie Hazelhurst. I'll never forgive him for that. But then we entered into a chat in the infamous WhatsApp, and we said, "What would the world be like if Roy Clark had been responsible for Indiana Jones?" And Dan was saying, "This is what it would be like." So we got this. This is them filming Kingdom of Crystal Skull. 'Cause obviously, they didn't go anywhere. But then he went back into the archives and got Temple of Doom, and I think we can all enjoy that.
I mean, 100% would watch that. That's the thing.
I do like the way Compo's getting ready to be bummed. There's just that look of resignation on his face.
They had a lot of series. Had to get there eventually, didn't they? Because
Yeah.
you have to run out of ideas at some point.
It was bound to happen. Hang on. I just want to check the comments. Does anyone remember Sparky the Magic Piano? Spalka, who sang Rock Me Spamadeus. Nice.
Someone has just said, Philip says, Crystal Skulls is better than the Temple of Doom, and I'll fight anyone who disagrees.
I'll fight you then.
New around here.
No, that's not true. So there we go. So they get out of the car. Mac's like, "Oh, this is going to be really difficult, mate. Do what? Up the frog and toad." And Indy's like, "Put your hands down."
Everyone you knew growing up was basically Ray Winston. In my head, you're the only person in London who doesn't sound like Ray Winston.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
everybody I knew sounded like that.
Good.
This is the diet we were fed as young Welsh people. So
my sister, she used to work in a property, in like a famous property. They used to film stuff, and they made a film there called, I think it was called 44-Inch Chest with Ray Winston.
Oh yeah.
In the basement, and occasionally you'd hear Ray Winston screaming from like down below, and people like guests would be like, "What's that noise?" That's just Ray Winston being tortured in the basement, and nobody ever asked any follow-up questions. That's the weird thing.
They didn't even ask if it was a film or anything.
No, they were just like, that makes sense. Where's the canteen?
I probably thought some sort of bondage den. So where am I in my notes? My magic notes. So they're pulled into this warehouse, and she says, "You will tell me what is in this warehouse." He says, "I've never been there before." Turns out they have. It's Area 51.
yeah,
Except
it's the famous.
it's not a warehouse. From here on in, there is almost no location work for this entire film. This is like establishing shots, but this is all everything outside the warehouse is in a warehouse. You can tell the vans are fake. It's all fake. This is basically Nightmare. This is just
Yeah, Traeger wouldn't have got a place here, would he?
Oh yeah,
that'd be much better. You are looking for the crate. Is that the crate? Yes. Right. Left a bit, forward.
Well, that's basically what John Hurt was doing throughout this. He just an eccentric man, just yelling instructions.
He might have been wearing that helmet with the horns on it.
Yeah, he's got a similar look to him. Yeah,
He could have walked into that giant mouth.
a lot of classic British telly has been ripped off of this film.
Yeah, unbelievable. I'm disgusted. In a serious point, though, this is what you get when you get a director who, in his youth, would go and do anything to get the film done, and now he's old. He's just like, just do it all in green screen. I've got kids. I've got a wife. I can't be bothered to go to Tunisia. We'll do it all in the.
If you want to make an Indiana Jones film, you don't get to finish by R5. It's not a 9 to 5 job in an Indiana Jones film. And it's clear Harrison Ford was like, you know what? I'll fly home as well. I'll be home by 6. Holidays tonight.
Well, I might be home by 6:30 if I land in the wrong golf course again.
Yeah. If I'm not back by 6, I've landed in a quick fit again.
What a strange habit to have. Constantly landing your plane in the wrong place.
It's something better to be known as than, like, say, a paedophile.
Yeah, I guess. Although that comes up again later on for flash forward.
It does appear. So yeah, they go into the warehouse, which isn't a warehouse, as Dan points out. And then he says, "Well, the box you're looking for is magnetized. I need gunpowder. I'm going to hand you over now to Dr. Dean Burnett."
Yeah, I showed John and Dan that in the infamous WhatsApp that I have 5 solid pages of notes about this film. Over 2,000 words, and most of them are about magnets because this annoyed me somewhat. So the conceit is, it's the big warehouse full of artifacts, which we saw at the end of
Lost Ark.
Yeah. Big pan back, all full of boxes. There's a certain box of certain dimensions we have to find because Kate Blanchett, the Russian tells us to. And he goes, right, to find it, I need gunpowder. So they give him loads of gunpowder from their guns and bullets and grenades. He just lobs it into the air because the thing they're looking for is extremely powerfully magnetic. He encountered it once. And then the gunpowder starts floating through the air like something from a Disney film, like when the spell's being cast. And they keep doing that until they find it. Now, if something's that powerfully magnetic over that distance, first of all, it wouldn't be hard to find because every metal thing in the room would be heading straight towards it. So just follow your dog tags, essentially. Secondly, gunpowder has no...
Prince Albert would be walking straight towards it.
Yes. Don't get me started. I have a story about one of those. It's well, if you want a digression, cadaver handling job I've mentioned before had a procedure is they come in, ingest the clothes they passed away in, and all their artifacts are removed, including jewelry. Except this one time they left an item of jewelry because they didn't know how to remove it, and neither did we. So we had a cadaver with a Prince Albert, which had to be removed before the embalming process. And my boss said, "I'll deal with this." And I went upstairs to do some paperwork, and he said, "I got it off with bolt cutters." And I meant, "You meant the Prince Albert, right? Not the whole... No, just the Prince Albert." So yeah.
Can I ask a question? Why can't you leave a Prince Albert on when you're embalming? Is it because it would turn into a sprinkler?
For want of a better description, yes. They pump them full of very aggressive chemicals, so the metal actually there is some expansion, which is not therefore restrict and therefore cause tearing is probably the right word to use, but not a pleasant one.
He's not using it anymore.
No, I know, but we need the cock intact for medical purposes, which is a phrase I've never thought to use before.
But you're a brain doctor. What do you need the cock for?
I didn't need it. It was for medical dissection practice.
I mean, I have to ask. I'm no doctor, as we know, but what can you learn from a cock, really?
Well, you can learn how to cut it open safely, I guess, which is what the purpose of it was.
Okay, it's very one-way. It's a one-way system. It's a one-way system. What's there to learn? It's not like it's a learning computer. Well.
There's a lot of nervous tissue in there, believe me.
There's a lot of nervous tissue here right now.
I mean, I've been on a bus. It is a learning computer, believe me.
It learns the wrong thing very often, but it does. I have no
like
idea
your own Garfield. You were talking about Prince Albert's. No, you were talking about the gunpowder not being magnetic thing. Yeah,
because he specifically says, I need the metal in this gunpowder will be attracted to the magnet, which wouldn't work. Gunpowder has no metal in it. It's a combination of sulfur and nitrous compounds and charcoal. So that wouldn't have worked at all. And
Prince Albert. That's the thing.
Loads of Prince Alberts and gunpowder. God knows where they get them from. That's why war is a very expensive business. I did what I had to survive.
Isn't it in a can?
Prince Albert's in a can.
That is quite an obscure reference.
Thank you very much. It's from the 1990 version of It. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Good night.
Okay, I don't understand. I'm just going to... anyway, so this increasingly irrelevant rant will end when, basically, they keep saying it's magnetic and they have no idea how magnets work because, like John said, it becomes more or less magnetic depending on the plot. Apparently, it's the most powerful magnet in the world. It can stretch across this mile-long warehouse and... also, the gunpowder sort of moves around like magnets don't do that. They don't just like go around the boxes. And when they open the wooden boxes in, it becomes more magnetic, which makes no sense.
More magnetic. Are we saying that wood is it's like a anti-conductor to magnets?
Well, I'm not saying that, but apparently they are saying that. So
that's the Prince Albert again, then, isn't it?
So basically, weirdly, I will say, I think the gunpowder magnetic field scene is less scientific than the upcoming fridge scene. So that is quite a thing to make. I think people have been concentrating the wrong thing all these years.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So he shows them with the boxes, and let me just check my notes here because I had written down something about this. So magnets. I said shortly after retrieving the corpse, Mac reveals he's a double agent.
I just want to say one thing. Because obviously we made fun of Harrison Ford's age. He does leap over those crates. Yeah. And he is indecent. Like, we make fun of him. I couldn't do that.
No, he's a decent Nick. Yeah, fair play to him.
I'd need at least 3 goes together, 1 crate.
Yeah.
So,
So, in fairness to him, he can do that. He just looks old.
Yeah,
but apparently he refused to dye his hair when they suggested it. He said, "Nope, I want to look old."
But he did do his pubes. That's the weird thing. And kept
Did do his pubes.
all of that. I'm not
And
going to keep the earring, though. Yeah, I'm keeping that.
Yeah, and he dipped his Prince Albert in gold.
On the Prince Albert? Oh, yeah, I'm keeping it. So,
Yeah.
it's a memento.
I don't want to have a sprinkler incident on set. Yeah. Apparently, he was doing like 3 gym sessions a day in preparation for this role.
Yeah, he's in good shape, but I think it looks to me when he punches someone, it doesn't look like it would hurt. I know.
No.
I better describe it. It looks like.
It looks like one of those viral YouTube videos where 2 old men have a fight.
Yeah, I can see that.
So they get the body out, they cut it open, they have a look at it. Some bloke's glasses get stuck on the lid, and then Indy's like,
it becomes more or less magnetic depending on the plot, doesn't it? So
yeah,
this scene it'd be good in this scene if it's magnetic, unless it'd be inconvenient to the other scene, so it's not anymore. And also they kept a really powerful magnetic thing inside a metal box, which seems impractical.
I don't understand, Dean. I don't understand because is the alien skull magnetic?
I don't
know. If so, when it landed in Roswell, why when they found it wasn't it covered in forks and stuff?
Well, that's later on they established that this alien isn't the same aliens as the one in the crystal skull. It's a different type of alien descended from these aliens. So there's 2 types of aliens in this.
Oh yeah, she says a distant cousin, perhaps.
But it's only descended. It's only like whatever 3, 4 or 5,000 years later. So if they're magnetic in the head, this body's going to be magnetic.
Presumably so, yes. But that seems like
magnets.
That seems like an excessive complication.
What?
I mean, magnetic in the head is my favourite Cypress Hill song.
What were you saying, Dan?
Are there magnetic animals?
A lot of animals navigate by the magnetic field. So yeah, like a lot of birds, turtles do. So
or will a fork stick to a turtle?
With a strong enough adhesive, yes. But
there's only one way to find out.
Fight!
Bring him in.
Bring in one of those big Galapagos ones. I'm going to stick a fork in its head.
Maybe that's a good idea for Ninja Turtles. Fork stuck to a turtle. Ah, I see. Shredding implements, yeah, I can see. Yeah.
Shredder, yeah.
Utensils.
But this is what I want to know, because she says, a distant cousin, perhaps. Maybe he was also looking for Akator. He landed in Roswell.
He was looking very hard.
Fucking idiot. He must have advanced map stuff.
The instructions are, right, okay, you turn left at, Andromeda, then you carry on, and then you stop at Area 51 and ask.
I think it's like when you get to the end
of the cafe there.
There's a good cafe. If you want to buy it, you get a cafe at Area 51, and then it's just you turn left, you can't miss it, Akator.
The Futurama, they went back to Roswell and ordering food at a restaurant. They have no idea of the timeline. 2 croque monsieur and a stein of mead. One of my favorite jokes.
So yeah, as we mentioned earlier, so that while they're all distracted by Das corpse, Indy manages to steal a rifle, and he's like, let us go, or we'll shoot Spalko. And then there's this really weird bit I wanted to talk about. So all the guys put their guns down, right? But the Ian Hart lookalike one pulls his gun back up, and all his men look at him like he's weird. And then it's revealed that Mac is pointing his gun at Indy. So why are all the other men, why are the other Russians being like, what are you doing? And Mac's pointing his gun at Indy, so they should all pick up their guns again.
Yeah. People seem to have very difficulty in seeing what's right in front of them in this film so far. Like he showed us, the maximum visual range is like 5 feet. They can't see anything beyond that. Don't know if that's a 50s thing, but
that's because everything's actually fucking green screen around.
Yeah, we got. There's nothing actually there. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, it's really awkwardly edited as well. So Indy, they say to him, "Have you got any last words before you shoot you?" And he says, "I like Ike. I quite like that bit." He throws the gun down. It shoots Ian Hart, Russian, in the foot.
That's just a coincidence, right? That's just lucky. Yeah,
lucky. I don't understand that, but apparently it doesn't hurt him because a couple of seconds later he's running. Indy runs across the top, and then he swings after Spalko, who's driven off in this little warehouse, which is now suddenly fucking Daytona.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of wide spaces in this crowded room, isn't it?
It's like the TARDIS. You expect the Doctor to come out of the bog and be like, "What's going on?" She drives off. Indy whips on a lamp to chase after her, but then he does the most the non-Indiana Jones thing he could possibly do, which is he then swings back because he misses, lands in the truck, looks at both the Russians who look at him like, where did this guy come from? And he says, damn, I thought that was closer. Indiana Jones wouldn't say that.
No.
It's all unspoken. So he gets rid of those guys. He chases after Spalko. And then this is the bit I hate the most. Well, probably about in the top three, where Ray Winston says, easy, Boris, you don't know him. And then he goes, know him, you don't know him. Know him, you don't know him.
Could have said
and
stop.
Indy gets out. Yeah, just say stop. Just stop. He's gonna crash into us. Stop.
Also, as far as we know, you don't know him. As far as we, you met him 10 minutes ago. Like Ray Winston's
apparently they've been friends. They've been friends since Ray Winston's about 3 years old, by the sounds of it.
Like Ray Winston's big sort of, oh my god, he's turned against him.
There's a big head-on collision. Indy runs across.
Oh no!
Oh, John's gone.
Is John's signal going?
Oh dear.
No, I'm all right.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's crack on then. We missed that last part.
Yeah. So let me just check I'm on the right internet connection. Yeah, I am. I'm fine. Where was I? Oh yeah. So Indy goes across the rooftops and the Russian Ian Hart chases him. And then there's this really confusing bit of set dressing because they run into a room and it's got a circular window in the floor.
Yeah. Why?
And they both plummet. They both land on it and then plummet through there.
Yeah, this place. I know it's meant to be Area 51, isn't it? But it serves a lot of.
It's basically anything you want it to be.
Yeah, it's like Wonka's military warehouse.
Is it the way from the end of Raiders?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a bit where they hit a crit and then it breaks up and you see the Ark of the Covenant. In
the Ark.
Yeah.
I believe in the next one they're doing the same joke except it's Shia LaBeouf's dead body in there. So that's
oh, that's good. That's good. With a monkey in bed with him.
Just trying like dead monkeys, yeah.
But did you know that this film's second unit, i.e. the stunt work, was done by the same people who did the Bourne films?
I did not know that.
That's why you can't really see what's going on.
That's okay. Yes, it's a bit. But I thought that was a conscious choice here because I imagine Ford, for all his hard work, is still rather old right now. Like it's like what's like The Irishman, they CGI'd like young images on the 70-year-old men fighting it. It's a different kinetic energy to it.
Yes. Yeah. But him and Ian Hart have a fight. Ray Winston comes in to try and shoot Indy. I have no idea. And then they've accidentally set off the rocket booster car.
Rocket sled. I'm trying to look up what that's for. Is that this is 58? 1958. Is that a rocket testing?
Yeah,
that was 57. So yeah.
Rockets. Those things existed.
They
weren't quite as glossy because they were CGI bollocks. This would be one of the best scenes in Indiana Jones if it didn't look like complete shite.
It does look like complete shite.
It's really a cartoon, isn't it?
But they all go off on this rocket sled. Well, not all, him and Ian Hart. But as they're going past...
To say before this, I think there's a bit when they're on top of the sled and Indy is fighting Russian Ian Hart. And I think I have a strange nostalgia for the classic scene where the hero fights the oversized, overly muscled goon. And I don't know, I think you normally get that towards the end, but we had it in King Solomon's Mines on top of the train, and Bruce Willis did it in Two of the Die Hards, and I sort of feel I kind of miss that a bit. I think just our hero fights a massive guy and doesn't really win, but just gets the better of him somehow. So
a proper henchman, yeah.
I think we could stand to see more of that personally.
Yeah, and it's not too bad. But they go off in the rocket car. And did you notice that they disturbed some gophers having dogging?
Oh.
Prairie dogging. Yes.
They were prairie dogging. They were all in the dark, and the car lights them up, and they're all a bit like, I wasn't doing anything. I mean, they had that tiny Renault Espace. They were in the back seat. And they finish their jaunt. They both kind of pass out, but Indy manages to get away. And this is confusingly edited because Indy rolls down a hill, and you can hear all the Russians basically. I assume they're saying find him.
Yeah.
And then it just cuts to this model village.
Yeah, it happens about 3 times in this film where it's slightly away from. They get like maybe 3 feet away from the bad guys, and they're safe.
Yeah.
It happens later when they're in the jungle. When they get out the tent, the tent's on fire. They goes, well, just go around the tent. Oh no, we can't do that. Got to go through a tent. It's on fire. No, we'll fuck them. Yeah. And here it's just like, oh, where is he? He's there. He's there. This is fairly well lit. Everything's on fire.
He's 63 years old, guys. This is
go?
embarrassing.
Yeah.
But he goes.
It's nighttime when they get off the sled and they can't find him.
Yeah.
When he arrives at the model village, it's light, so it's been a couple of hours walking at least.
I mean, you think about it though. They arrived at Area 51 in daytime.
Oh my god, that's a really good point.
Yeah. So they've been in Area 51 for about 12 hours.
I was like, Carmarthenshire. Is that where Area 51 is? The night comes quick.
And it lasts for quite a while. If I know Carmarthenshire.
He's been wandering all night. That model village is in Powys.
But if you're going to test nuclear bombs anyway.
Well, exactly. It'd have to be Wales, wouldn't it? They're not going to do it in London, are they? Let's be honest.
We can handle it. We're fine.
Yeah.
We used to Port Albert. It's fine.
Now, out of the whole film, this is my favourite bit. When he goes to the village. And because you get the most indie-like Harrison Ford performance where they drive off and he says, "Oh, fine, don't wait for me." I enjoyed that. That made me laugh. And then he tries to find, and with the bomb's about to drop, so he gets in the fridge, which we get a clear label there saying lead lined. Dean, as a scientist, would that work?
No. Not even slightly. I mean, it's been people complain about the fridge scene a lot. I know it's Indiana Jones suspension of disbelief, but that's it's a step too far for me personally because. Like I say, just in case anyone hasn't seen the film, this is a model village set up for testing nuclear bombs to see what happened in the village. And as Dan pointed out in the infamous WhatsApp, why have they got the TV on? In the village?
TV on? We're going to blow it up. We got to give them something to watch. They're dummies. Yeah, but they still watch TV though.
There's a TV on. That's why he goes into the house saying he wants some help.
I like to think the 3 dummies are us.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm sure Dan's going to Photoshop that before the end of the night.
I'm sure he will. That's the next T-shirt. But yeah, I mean,
a theory about the fridge, though, Dean, and it's scientifically valid.
Go on.
Before Harrison Ford gets there, someone accidentally spills water from the Holy Grail into the fridge.
I feel the similar theory about that because Indy once drank from the Holy Grail, therefore he would survive that.
He hasn't because it wears off. But someone accidentally just poured like Sprite in the Holy Grail into the fridge. So the fridge is immortal, but Harrison Ford isn't.
That would explain why the fridge survives the nuclear blast, which literally rips everything apart. This is like a really big scale version of the classic Hollywood trope of an explosion happens behind the hero and he gets sort of like picked up and shoved forward a bit rather than torn apart by the forces acted upon him, which is what would happen because that's how physics works. So this fridge would have been vaporized instantly or utterly just torn apart by the pressure alone. But even if it wasn't, he should be both. When that fridge opens, he should be hot soup, just pour it out.
He's just chucked around a bit. He's fine.
I'll
tell you what it was. He's probably in the fridge doing this.
If you wrapped around at ballistic speeds, a 63-year-old man.
Right? Let me just get the frames exactly right. You'd be fine.
I feel like I should give you some money or avoid you in the street. Just walk around you. Don't make eye contact, kids. I'll only encourage them.
I mean, the thing is, though, it's not the most stupid thing Indiana Jones has done because he jumped out of a plane in a dinghy.
Yeah, that always struck me as odd as a kid as well, because again, I was that sort of kid. So,
and I don't mind this because it gives us this image, which I think is a really powerful image.
Yeah, it's a great image. I mean, again, my understanding is I'm brought here to assess the scientific integrity of films. And
would Indiana Jones, Dean, would Indiana Jones have died of cancer like 5-6 years later?
Yeah, well, no, it's lead line, John. It's lead line.
That's true, but John Wayne did that Genghis Khan film, didn't he? Where famously he did it on a test site in Nevada where everybody in it died of cancer.
Yeah,
including him.
Yeah, I know, but I think the other thing is, I love that was 1956. He died in 1979. And he was getting
80, I think. Yeah,
80. So he chain smoked for 25 years and said that damn movie 25 years ago.
I don't think he would been on that one, but in this film, he is walking towards a very large mushroom cloud. So I think he is giving himself a pretty fatal dose there. It's clearly quite close as well by Mushrooms Cloud standards.
It's pretty
gold
close. It's pretty
standard,
close.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's a nice image. It's indie
it's really
embracing post World War II world. I quite like it.
so.
But I would say that this is a bookmark because from here on in, the film is a fucking nightmare.
It hasn't got Traeger on it, which is annoying.
No, exactly. But we then move on to he's picked up by the FBI. They wash him in the shower, not like that,
But which
and
is
they
correct,
interrogate him.
Post-contamination procedure, though. That is actually what happened. So points
What
for
they
that.
go in with a Jif mop.
Well,
Yeah.
you have to be completely showered and deionized or something. But yes, it's that is how you handle after radiation stuff. So yes, fair enough. And again, this is 57. They're still figuring this out, so they just probably do it as a matter of course. Yeah.
This would be a better film if this is 25 minutes in, so he's been through all this. He gets to the end, has a shower. The logo for Radox comes up, and that's the end of the film. And you realize the whole thing.
It's a really elaborate advert.
We'd be spared the rest.
Yeah.
But then he basically he's now under suspicion by the FBI because he's friends with Ray Winston. Quite right.
Neil Flynn is one of the FBI agents. Always a pleasure to see Neil Flynn. Big fan.
Yeah. And of course, Jim Robinson from Neighbours appears.
Right, now here's how I feel about this, right? It strikes me, never mind the aliens, which we'll have a problem with later on. You can't have an Indiana Jones film that stars, even in a minor role, the bloke who played Baron Hardup in the Swan Theatre High Wycombe 3 years in a row. Right?
Also, he should only be in films, this is my rule, if he dies of a heart attack like he did as Jim Robinson. Like, he'll come in and go, Indy, what the hell? And then he just knocks over loads of oranges and falls to the floor.
How does Jim Robinson, I mean, speaking of drinking the Ark of the Covenant, that guy looked the exact same in 1985 as he looks now.
Yeah.
He's been
in close contact with Kiefer Sutherland, who also chose wisely.
I don't know. Kiefer Sutherland's starting to look like his dad now.
He is there. Not as good as his dad, though, is he? No.
I remember seeing that once, like, because people from Neighbours do go on to better things a lot of the times. And
you got Guy Pearce.
Yeah. I can't remember. The one I remember quite vividly was seeing might have been a BuzzFeed article or something clickbaity saying child actors, where are they now? Like, sort of like after all the peak of their fame. And I think it was Jesse Spencer. And I said, look, he was this guy. I said, where is he now? And he's playing Dr. Chase in the TV show House, currently the most popular show on earth. So where is he now? Why is this?
He's doing all right. He's doing all right.
Doing fine. And in that, he's regarded as the fit one. So, he's probably okay.
So then, Indy's cleared, but the FBI say to him, you are a person of severe interest. Now, I don't know if that means that they're watching him or if they just really like him.
This is your fourth film. Don't mess it up.
Yeah.
on you, mate.
So then we see Indy doing his classroom like we did in the first one, but I want there to be a twist here. Do you remember in the first one? He's talking and the girl blinks and it says love you on her eyelids. Now Indy's a bit older. I want him to be teaching. He steps out from behind the desk. His knobs out and it says love me on it. And he's got no trousers on.
He's literally got the front row, and on her eyelid she's written, "Have you considered releasing the equity in your home?"
I was going to say the same thing. Just like buy Gaviscon.
A free carriage clock with every inquiry.
No, I want him to have no trousers or pants on, and love me be written on his shaft of his penis.
Shaft. Heart me. Yeah. Give some credit.
Who's the best teacher at? Yeah. But no, he's brought out of his classroom by Professor Jim Broadbent,
who keeps calling him Henry.
Who says to him, "No one does that." Can we just say at this point that Denham Elliott as Marcus never called him Henry?
No,
he called him Indiana.
They call him Henry Lott in this
because that's his fucking name.
Yeah, but he's referred to as Henry Lott in this, isn't he?
Yeah,
it's not right. It's not right.
I mean, that is a better old man name, I suppose. Henry Jones. I mean, he looks more like a Henry Jones than Indiana.
But we're not going to see Henry Jones in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, are we?
Oh God! If they built it as that would have been such a ballsy move.
I'd have actually respected that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, but Jim Broadbent says because of your association with things, the FBI have been sniffing about the board of governors want to get rid of you, and then Indiana Jones is like, well, they're firing me. What have you done about it? And Jim Broadbent's like, Henry, I've resigned.
He resigned in order to get him a temporary suspension on full pay. I mean, that's a good deal, though, isn't it?
It's not bad. I'd take that tomorrow.
Think it happy.
I don't care.
That's supposed to be an emotional beat, but it's like they've forgotten that just because it's Jim Broadbent, we don't know who he is, and we don't. If it was Denham Elliott, we'd be like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
It's like, this guy you just met, he's just resigned on full pay. Oh, no, I don't care.
Because of the other guy you just met who turned against you. Like,
Yeah,
right.
wait a minute, that's the bloke who once beat up Del Boy, so you can fuck off.
Can I just point?
Yeah, go on.
I was saying, can I point out this has always bothered me? Richard Deville says it's always bothered me, saying how they use screen grabs from the films for photos of Connery and Denham Elliott on Indy's desk. It's awful. Yeah. It's like Henry Jones is like in the desert. It's like, oh, I'm glad someone got that picture. And then it's Denham Elliott when he's at the train station saying, does anyone speak English?
It's also like we did when we did Blues Brothers 2000, and they didn't even bother doing that for John Belushi's picture. We just never saw him in the film.
Never saw him once.
That's a step up from Blues Brothers 2000. Strangely,
yeah. I also have got a bit of I've got a grudge against the production designer of this film because his name's Guy Hendricks Dias. He also did Superman Returns, which I felt looked like shit. And when I found out he was doing this film, I just thought we might be doomed here, and we were.
Yeah. No. Good I will say Jim Broadbent has a nice line. I think I said no. Like,
it's a great line. Great line.
I used to take a line. The government's got to see in communists in our soup. Just I don't know.
He also says we've reached the age where life stops giving and starts taking.
Not bad.
Which is something he found out in his bondage club.
Jesus.
So he's put on an indefinite leave of absence, and so he goes on full pay.
Should be given money for nothing.
Again, accuse me of anything. I'll take that tomorrow. Not anything, obviously. So Indy decides he's going to go to New York and then to London. And then he goes all over the place. Jim Broadbent's like, where are you going? And he goes, I'm going to go to New York, then London. And then he goes, Geneva. It's like, all right, fucking calm down.
He's basically trying to remember his address, isn't he? London, New York, Geneva.
Shush, it's an acronym. But yeah, he's going to have a little jaunt basically, and he gets to the train station, gets on his train. Two fat blokes in suits who are clearly supposed to be Russian follow him, and then out of the smoke,
Russian, they're just like they're drinking vodka.
They're big bear men, aren't they?
Yeah.
I do agree though. I think the swap from Nazis to communist Russians it's a bit. It doesn't work as well because I mean, what does a Russian look like? It's a lot.
The lovely thing about Nazis is that's a terrible thing.
Good. Let's see what this
What
goes.
I mean to say is, what I love about a Nazi is the thing about Nazis is in a film is that they are the perfect boogeyman. You don't need to go.
Yes.
Oh, the bad guys in this are Nazis. Why? What have they done? Oh, don't get me started. That's the thing, right? The Soviets, it's like, oh, the Soviets. What do they want? Oh, workers' rights. Well. All right.
I mean, to be fair, Stalin was probably as bad as Hitler.
I
don't say probably he's doing a lot of heavy lifting. No, he was as bad as Hitler. Yeah.
He was as bad as Hitler. What I mean is, there's something about the Nazis that are like wallop you're in. Whereas these, it would have been. I did Cold War stuff in uni, but it would be nice to have a moment just for modern audiences to go right. The bad guys are Soviets. Here's why. I'm not asking for a full history of it. Just like they're bad for this reason. And they're okay, good, we're in. Because at the moment, all they've got is really nice haircuts.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, pardon the direct correlation, but the Nazis are Joy Division, like literally, and the Russians were New Order. You know, no one liked them as much, but they did the same job essentially.
Yeah. There we are. That you should have been in the film going, "Hello, I'm John Rain, and I'd like to explain the USS R2 just very briefly to give you context."
The more you know.
The more you know. I haven't seen the film yet, but I'm sure it'll be wonderful, and I'd like to give you some context on the baddies.
Would have improved it, I think, personally. But I like seeing John in things, so maybe I'm not impartial.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a dramatic pause.
Good. Yeah, so now we know. We can carry on. So Matt Williams comes out of the smoke What do we think about Shia LaBeouf? I mean, I'm filled with existential dread about Shia LaBeouf. I don't know about you lot.
I thought this again when I watched the film this week, and I thought this was the first time I saw him. He's got too young a face. To me, he looks like he looks like someone on the set of Bugsy Malone. He's like a 3-year-old, not 3, maybe 7-year-old kid dressed up as a greaser. He just looks too innocent and wide-eyed.
It should have been someone like a Brad Pitt or I don't know.
Well, hang on. How old does he need to be? He needs to be.
He's like 16 in this, 15, 16.
16 of this. So we need what's the trouble in it? How about Zac Efron's 2008? He was around in 2008. How about
Zac Efron would have been all right.
On a boy's face.
What about we de-age Sean Connery?
Just riding up on my bike there, and don't de-age him. Leave him exactly the same, but just give him a wig. I'm drinking Pepsi Max and a can, and I love milkshakes, and I don't like golf. Wink. I like things like what are kids like? Nintendo. And then be like, right, we're in.
30 years too early, but okay.
Oh, I would love to see that.
You can say Elvish.
My mother, Mary Williams, she sent me here to give you this letter. I don't know what any other letters mean, but I assume you do. Don't know.
This is
except he'd be really old and raspy.
This is the important point where the issue I have. So halfway through the film, jumping ahead, I'm sure everyone's seen it. Mary obviously turns out to be Marion Ravenwood, who has no function in this film whatsoever, other than for people to go, oh, now she's working again. If she was the one who arrives at this moment in the film and says, oh, really quick, you have a son, and he has gone off into the woods with John Hurt, and let's face it, there's no good of that.
No.
Right? That's never going to end well.
An alien in him, or God knows what. Anyway.
John, this is going to hurt. Yeah.
John, this is going to hurt. Right? If she came, then it's, first of all, you have not a repeat, but it's something that rhymes with that moment in Raiders of the Lost Ark where he goes to her and then she follows him, and then she comes to him and he has to follow her. Right? And also, there's a reason for her to be in it, and it's this whole thing of like, there's no real payoff in the middle when he goes, oh my God, Mary is Marion, which doesn't make sense because Mary's not really short for Marion.
No.
And that's the biggest problem with it is I don't know how this film got to this point in the screenplay without anyone going, it doesn't make sense. It's not in any way satisfying to have fucking millions.
We should mention that the screenplay to this is like 3 or 4 screenplays all stitched together.
Yes, it jumps around a lot, doesn't it?
Because this was like Frank Darabont did a screenplay called Indiana Jones and the Sorcerer Men from Mars, which is why they mentioned it later. And then I can't remember who the screenwriter is for this. Is it Jeffrey Boehm again or someone? I can't remember who it is.
Jeff Nathanson. Is it Lucas?
All right.
I think.
I can't remember, but so it was David. It wasn't David Cope. Was it David Cope?
Can't remember. Based on a story by Jeff Nathanson and George Lucas.
Yeah. Basically, they just collected all the good screenplays or relatively good screenplays that have been written and just kind of stitched them all together. And
but you can't. That's not an excuse. No. It's you start again if you have to, and it's people are joining in. Thank you. Yeah, David Kep. David Kep is. By the way, I think he did one script I like. I don't even remember what it was, but he is a proper fucking. I'll puke it out on a weekend kind of guy.
He did Michael Mann's The Kep. Terrible.
Did he do get off the point now? But didn't he do Snake Eyes? I think he might have done the screenplay for Snake Eyes.
Not the new G.I. Joe one, but the Brian De Palma film. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah,
and Akiva Goldsman, who are might as well be the same bloke in terms of their talent.
Akiva Goldsman is the biggest hack in Hollywood. Yeah,
followed quickly by David Kep. I'm sure David Kep's done some good stuff, but this isn't it. But anyway, there's moments in this that are just like literally. No, to take my solution, if you just basically swap the Matt Williams role for Marion's role, you
I agree.
Can do that cut and paste in first final draft. And I think it makes more sense to have her be with him the whole time rather than this, because it's kind of pathetic. It's like, so he's hanging out with kids in the in the Incan forest, you? Yeah. That doesn't sound all right. It doesn't sound all right hanging out with your old girlfriend, to be honest with you, in the Incan jungle. You should just settle down and have an ice cream. But you got to do something. And I just think that solves the whole film. Not the whole film.
I completely agree. It doesn't work this way at all. Because Mutt's supposed to be this tough guy, but as soon as he sees anything, he shits his pants.
Yeah, I mean, he's constantly practicing with his flick knife, and that's...
I remember that at the time.
Like such an affectation.
I'm a bit of a student. If there's a film I'm excited, I'm a bit of a student of like watching all the press shit that comes out about it. And I remember at the time them saying, I remember Steven Spielberg saying, Shia LaBeouf, he had this knife and he was like, oh, I've been practicing. And he showed me and I was like, we have to have that in the film. And it's like, Stephen, we don't. Don't need that. It's adding extra seconds to this film. Yeah.
It doesn't look as cool as you think. He just looks like Andrew Dice Clay playing with that lighter in 16 Candles. All right, grow up.
The opening credits, LaBeouf is the and crediting, and Shia LaBeouf. Like it's sort of you get special billing, which is odd, considering
That's just embarrassment.
Yeah.
So he meets Mutt. He takes Mutt to a cafe and then he tells him about a letter he got from his mum, Mary. About
I don't know her. She sounds like a slag, and then move on.
Sean Connery style.
What did you say about my mother? She's a decent woman. Go high.
Sean Connery, instead of a flick knife, he's got a golf club, obviously, just constantly twirling it. Like,
yeah.
It's just practice.
You get the shot because I'm leaving now forever. Goodbye.
So he's been given this letter by Ox. Now, Ox is the man who's missing.
Character that you don't care about whatsoever. But
this
is the thing. He's like, he's a super cool biker, but his best mate is a history professor.
To be fair, Back to the Future, bollocks, that is.
Yeah, it is. He's like, whenever I couldn't sleep, Ox would talk to me. I'm like, hello. What's going on there?
Didn't ask him to. He just came into my room.
I've got a story to tell you. Have you now? Yeah, I think I'm going to have a story to tell in about 15
This
years.
is called We Won't Tell Mum.
Yeah, but also he specifically says, when I couldn't sleep, Ox would start talking to me and I just passed right out. Like, really? Did he bring you any milk to drink beforehand?
Yeah.
There's a bit of that's a bit coincidental, that isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to talk. My uncle Bill Cosby has gone missing. Whenever I couldn't sleep, he'd tell me about the burden, and I fall asleep.
You gotta do what you're to get the magnetic in the head.
I'd wake up in the morning, and I was fine, except my arse hurt.
Say it out loud.
I just had to say it loud. I don't care. He went to prison. So then they have a fight.
With watching this right now, going, I can't get a night off from this. I'm just going to watch these guys who I love, and now they're laying into me. This doesn't seem fair.
We've been talking for 55. We've been talking for 55 minutes, and we're not even a quarter of the way through this film.
Yeah, this is going to be. We might need toilet breaks, guys.
Did you notice the Sean Connery line dropped in here?
I did not. What is that?
When they're talking in the cafe about Akator and all that bollocks, the two Russians turn up, and Mutt tries to act hard.
Okay.
By the way, I have to point out, when Mutt is dipping his comb in the Coke and then stilling the beer, there's an extra behind them who's doing great acting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see her say to the bloke, he just dipped his comb in your Coke.
Yeah, I picked up on that. Yeah,
the bloke looks a bit nonchalant, and then she carries on talking, and I'm thinking, that's really good acting.
Yeah, she's like, leave it, Terry. He's not worth it.
Yeah. She's doing her own film, and it's brilliant. But the two Russians turn up, and Mutt gets his fucking flick knife out, and then Harrison Ford goes, "Good work, kid. You brought a knife to a gunfight."
Of course, yeah. Sean Connery from Untouchables. Also meant the previous indie film. Yeah.
Untouchables, of course, this is what everyone who knows Ox is called. Via court order. So they go on a bike chase. They go into the college. They crash into Denham Elliott's statue, which upsets me. Now, what really upset me about this is that, do you remember when that Indy's sitting in his house with Jim Broadbent and he says, "Rough couple of years, huh?" He says, "First Dad, then Marcus," right? This film's set in 1957. They crashed into Marcus's statue and it says he died in 1944.
Oh yeah. Now then,
What?
yeah, good. Somebody didn't talk to the proper.
Did nobody notice?
They made a black. Also, the other thing is that head comes off very easily, doesn't it?
Very easily. It's
That
almost
was
like he
Yeah.
wants to drop.
backbone.
It's what Marcus would have wanted to have his head drop in a gentleman's lab.
But you see, like I know Indy's like frowned it, but it seems to be sort of this is like a very, very beloved character. They said he's dead, and now you're just going to desecrate this monument. Oh, all right, that's
They might as well have
nice.
driven their car up his arsehole. Yeah, so 1957. So then they escape from the Russians, and then they get on a plane and they go to Peru because they work out that Ox's letter is telling them to go to Peru.
Yeah. Oh, also the library scene, another scene of people driving vehicles through places where vehicles wouldn't normally fit, which happens a lot in this film.
We do, and we also get a Wilhelm scream from one of the students.
Yes, I clocked that as well. The Wilhelm scream. Yes.
Yeah, which is in every Lucasfilm film, basically.
I was just saying one thing, right? Before we move on, we're actually going to Peru. There's, I actually enjoyed the car chase, the bike on a bike car chase. That was quite well done. And turns out I really enjoy watching Harrison Ford figuring his stuff out while he looks at old notes and maps.
Yes, I
just stood up. I was like, oh, and that was the part I went, maybe I've been unfair on this film. And that lasted 38 seconds.
Yeah, I had a few moments like that, but yeah, they were very fleeting. But it's also the part when he says, like, I might be able to translate this if I walk it through Mayan first. And I thought, oh, that's going to take him the best part of a day. No, 8 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
When I walk through Mayan, it takes me half hour.
Wasn't that a Cher single? I'm walking through Mayan.
Walking with my feet 10 feet off the ground.
I love the fact you
hello.
What? What's the hello for now? I don't do voice because they always sound South African when I try anything, so I just stopped.
Says the best Rodney Dangerfield impersonator in the Western Coast.
Hey, I can't talk about it. Sorry. Do impressions, I got no respect.
No, it's that one. So they go to Peru.
They took the who are right mouthy bunch of girls they are. They'll tell you whatever you want about them.
Yeah.
He tells Mark that he hung out with Pancho Villa.
Which is a reference to young Indiana Jones.
Okay. Fair enough.
When I lived in Watford, there was a Mexican restaurant called Pancho Villa, so I was a bit confused. I thought he meant he'd gone there. But yeah, it's a reference to young Indiana Jones, which is nice.
Wait a minute. They called a Mexican restaurant Pancho Villa's.
They did.
But with people turning up going, is he in? No, he doesn't. He just runs the place. Also, nobody thinks Pancho Villa was a good cook.
No, I don't think so.
Hey.
I don't think anyone knows who he is anymore, including me.
I don't know.
Well, he was the cook. It was just a coincidence. Yeah, it's a lot of confusion. I'm not that Pancho Villa. He's been dead for 82 years. Oh, fair enough.
I know his brother Aston. He's got a good football team. Not good. So then they go to Peru, and at a local psychiatric hospital, they find carvings. Basically, Ox has done an heart attack.
Yeah.
He's put a camera on the ceiling and he's carved things all over the floor.
50s Peruvian asylum. Oh, that's nice and sensitively handled. Isn't it?
That is a fun thing about. I love movies, I guess, where you kind of get the out of the way players. Again, it looks really fake and studio-y, but it's like this whole sequence. I was like, oh, this is all right.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it didn't last long.
Yeah,
it's a bit like a roller coaster. It's a bit like that, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's all anticipation. It's like it goes tick tick tick. We're nearly at the top. Oh, it's leveled off again.
Oh, the dip is like
yeah.
It's going up.
This one.
I mean, it's not fun. It's not fun. So they find that our Ox is drawn. I mean, just fucking leave a note, Ox. He's drawn with his cock the location of a grave.
Oh, did you show? Have you shown Ox's diary yet?
No, that's later on.
That's later on.
That's later when they find him, if the Russians.
Don't spoil the WhatsApp group magic.
Well, now you're giving it away.
All right. So they go to a grave in Peru. They meet two assassins there. One of them is Ernie Reyes Jr., who was one of the turtles from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles films.
Yeah.
Right.
Go on.
Go on.
Well, I'm just going to say that I watched this on Amazon, which is available on Prime, and I paused this bit just to get something. And you know the Amazon X-ray, which flags up cast names and trivia. It's not actually X-ray just basically started doing my job for me. So I just got Amazon X-ray tells me that this scene is geographically implausible. There are no mountains overlooking the Peruvian drawings, which are like the gods' sketches, or he calls them. And it's an arid region with no weather. So it's a mountain scene in a thunderstorm. So the whole thing is bollocks, scientifically. And like Amazon told me that. That's why you should pray for Prime. It debunks things for you.
Yeah, I agree. This is also the scene where Indy takes out the two assassins, and then Harrison Ford gives a line reading, which has always bothered me. Now, Mr. Plinkett in his reviews picks it up, but it's always bothered me, so I wanted to do my own independent bit of clipping here. Now, in the film, Mutt asks Indy, seeing his prowess, "You're a teacher." He says, "Part-time." Now, in the trailer, which you'll see in the second clip, he says the line, "As you'd imagine it should be said." So here we go.
You're a teacher?
Part-time. Part-time.
Why wouldn't you go with part-time? Which is an Indiana Jones way of saying things, not part-time.
Yeah, it sounds like it's quite a lyric.
It's like Jerry Seinfeld's doing it. I don't understand that at all.
Except when I'm rudely awakened by the dustman. Part-time.
So they go into the vault, of course, and they find lots of bodies that look like they've been giving blowjobs when they died. There's lots of skeletons with another skeleton head first in their lap, and they've all got big elongated heads. It makes you think they had big long dicks.
They've been having trouble with the graveyard guards, right? They've had a bit of a fight with them, right?
Yeah.
What is these people's job? Right?
Yeah.
They're just sitting in loincloths on the off chance that someone's going to rob from the graveyard. It's like, imagine a freaking interview for that. You go, security guard, I've done a couple of years. So what's the uniform? Oh, just a loincloth and mud. Right, you two take a polo shirt, not you, mate. And also, they seem to be training Krav Maga. How many Peruvian graveyard guards are training Krav Maga?
I was going to say, well, why are these guys ninjas? That's what I've got.
Ninjas, you'd be able to stick with you. Fuck off, you. Hey, that's the best you can hope for if you're a Peruvian graveyard guard.
Yeah.
Why haven't they got a dog? That's all you need, a transit van and a dog.
Well, they haven't even got like a fob with a bunch of keys on it. Right?
Yeah.
At least a torch. This time, it's 1957. I know they exist.
This is set in like the 17th century or the 12th. This is 1957. They'd have a car. They'd have a radio. It's just guys in their pants going, well, the money's shit, but it's good hours. It's just what is going on in this Peruvian graveyard. And also,
I don't know.
No one's ever tried to rob from this Peruvian graveyard before. It's the first time. What a waste!
Also, how did Ox get in there?
Yeah.
Oh well, he must be the night off. Oh, we don't work Wednesdays. If we came on a Wednesday, we wouldn't have got
it. Holiday.
Can you imagine?
Wash our pants.
Yeah.
John Hurt versus a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah,
Peruvian.
Yeah, well, all right, but John Hurt got in there. We know that.
A Peruvian turtle. Okay, let's split the difference.
Just stripped on his pants, dressed himself in mud, and said, "I don't want one of you boys."
That could have worked. Yeah.
He has got the voice to get away with it, hasn't he? I am Splinter. Oh, must be him. Let me in. I left my keys in there. So they go in and they find. First of all, they find the Francesco de Orellana. Who went searching for Akador and went missing, and then they find him and they open his bandages. Dean, I'd like to ask you a scientific question, if I may.
Please do.
If someone was mummified hundreds of years ago and wrapped in bandages, when you opened it, would their face deteriorate immediately?
I genuinely can't. Again, I have the exact note. I cannot envisage of any way bandages could be airtight to that extent. Like create a literal vacuum.
He's covered in mud. So they put bandage and straw and mud and a fridge around him.
Well, the fridge, that would do it, yeah.
Right.
Also, notice in this scene, Indiana Jones is meant to be an archaeologist, right? And first thing is, right, ancient, undiscovered remains. Give me a knife, I'm going to slash it to fuck. That's what I'm going to do. Like, it's also, I don't think people who make the film or any of the films know what an archaeologist does, because earlier on they say the reason he knows about the Roswell crash because he was dragged in to assess it. Why was he involved in this? Like,
why was an archaeologist? Yeah.
This is brand new high technology from alien culture. Let's bring this guy in who knows about old stuff from Earth. He's bound to have a clue. But then,
can we bring you in for this thing? Oh, when did this happen? Tuesday. Well, I do like last Sunday and before because I'm an archaeologist. Tuesday, too new. Call me next week. You know, it's like, why have you got this? You want a newiologist. Newiologist, you need.
Like I said in the infamous WhatsApp, bear in mind, this is the same military who decided to test nuclear weapons within walking distance of the archive of their most precious, powerful artifacts. So, I don't think the left hand and the right hand are doing the same thing in a lot of this. So
it's envisioning a world where in 1957 the president was Boris Johnson.
Yes, pretty much.
Nice.
Ooh,
hang on. I'm going to do an Ian Hislop pen tap. Now, I mean, it's a bit like getting Tony Robinson's time team to come in and advise for NASA.
Why is he involved in this?
Yeah. Now, in terms of rockets, I don't know anything, but I found a very interesting pot over here. So they go into the grave. They find this body that rots instantly, and then they find the other body of the man who was like the Goldfinger of his day.
The conquistador, don't they? They keep saying
And he's sitting on a crystal skull.
Yeah. What he was trying to do with it. That's why he died.
He looked like big butt.
He was putting that up his arse. That's how he died, isn't it? He put a crystal skull. He thought, all my men are dead. I'm bored. How far can I get this crystal skull up my arsehole?
I'm going to say this now. In his defense, right? I reckon if he tried shoving it up there, he would have chickened out long before it killed him. I think your natural defense system would go, you know what, that's not going to go. I'll probably leave it.
But he has to sneak it past the graveyard guards. So you're right. Yeah, fine. I couldn't find what we're looking for.
I would probably pretend I had a big spot. You're like, I've been eating a lot of chocolate. That's what this is.
Yeah. I am fine, but I was impregnated. Yeah, it's just it's really.
Yes, that's my crystal Huang.
What if it was a perfectly innocent incident where he thought, "No, I won't do that," and then he fell over and it went right up his arse?
That would kill him.
There we go. Maybe that's what happened then. Yeah,
that's how he died. Yeah. So they then get the skull out, and then we discover that it is magnetic with things that aren't gold.
Yeah. That at least like this is the part where I was won over by the film. Like, it said, crystal's not magnetic, neither is gold. First direction of the film. Marvelous.
I love this. This is one of the worst films of the 20th century, right? Blockbuster-wise, but you're like, this is where it won me over by acknowledging that it was wrong about magnetism.
Acknowledge reality itself, yeah. I mean, except when for a good 10, 12 seconds, then I just lost interest again.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But I do want to return to the fact that these aliens must have come to Earth and been just like, I can't stand it there. Everything fucking sticks to your head.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, something clips on my head and I can't get it off.
Yeah. Although they came 5,000 years ago when metallurgy wasn't really a thing. So, that could have been a big part.
I know, but, if they think there's metal in gunpowder, they probably think there's metal in trees. They're like, fucking hell, man.
And we see later on they are surrounded by gold, which apparently is magnetic to them. So, I mean, it actually does. Yeah. John's point remains completely valid.
I look like Grace Jones here. Look at me. All that crapping gold flying at me.
Yeah. So
they come out.
That's all I want.
They decide that Ox returned the skull, and then Indy. I quite like this bit. It's very Indiana Jones. You're going back to the hair on the arms going up. It's Indy saying, "I don't know what this is," and speculating wildly. He's like, "Well, maybe all the conquistadors' men got." Stab happy over the gold and all this. And then he's like, maybe they all had sex and they watched. Maybe I was there. Maybe I watched as well. Maybe someone noshed me off. And Matt's like, shush. He's like, oh, sorry.
Maybe this one guy tried to stick the crystal skull right up himself. And it was quite a feat.
So then they come out of the grave. And then, of course, we've got Mac and we've got all the Russians. And they're taken back to the camp.
These drumming up the wall, this trope of somebody coming out of somewhere and the bad guys are there waiting for them. How long have the bad guys been there? Waiting like fucking any second now this boy's coming out. They could be there for hours. Unless there's one guy going down going, shh, they come in. Shh.
like a surprise party. Just a big banner up there going.
Everyone
Indy comes out and one of them goes, "Happy birthday." Shh. Oh, sorry.
Fucking hell, Ivor. You ruined this. Ivan, sorry.
Old acquaintance. Yeah, sorry.
Wrong vibe, everyone. Say something about how much you like Stalin.
They're taken back to the Soviet camp, and then Indy is putting
carry on up the jungle. I'm sorry.
I got this. Yeah, same thing. What do they do in the background? What's this? That is not Slavic dancing going on around the campfire.
What the fuck is that?
It's
like Jamiroquai is doing a gig back there.
In this world, maybe you have the right.
Maybe, but Indy's putting. Basically, we're told that the crystal skull made Ox go mental. And they want to test it on Indy, so they put him in front of it, and he goes a bit mental for a second, and then they bring in Ray Winston, and Ray Winston's like starts talking about how he loves gold. That's his whole motivation in this film.
There's a song about that.
There is, and then they get taken outside, and she says, "Well, if we can't motivate you, maybe something will." And him and Mark are greeted with the return of Marion Ravenwood.
Yay! But at the same time, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we discussed this in the Smersh, upcoming Smersh, but I found it very because I'm not as big an indie fan as you guys are. So I watched this and I go, oh, she's from one of the other films, I guess. Yeah. So I'm guessing that's what happened in here. So
I would have think would have gone down the list. All right, she won't do it. Kate Capshaw retired. Alison Dooley's doing the weather in Dublin. We're out.
Who is Harrison willing to be with?
The byplay immediately between Karen Allen and Harrison Ford is magical. Why didn't we have half an hour of this before?
It must be quite awkward for Spielberg.
How so?
Sorry, when they say to Spielberg, can we get Willie back? And he's like, oh no, she's doing the ironing.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't tell her what to do.
Yeah. I mean, when I left this morning, she was doing the kids' lunches. That's not me being misogynistic. That's Steven Spielberg. Don't take it up with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, Marion's all like Indiana Jones.
Steven Spielberg, and you're still like, hang on, sorry. So I'm still doing all the housework. Yeah. But you're literally the best paid entertainer of all time. Yeah, fucking I am. Who is you?
Yeah.
You're in Black Rain, and nobody saw that.
Yeah, you should say, I saw your jugs in Dreamscape. No one watched that.
Yeah. Imagine what a rough. Turns out Spielberg's a prick in this fantasy, isn't he?
It's horrible. Horrible.
One of us was in space camp, and one of us made Schindler's List.
And those fish figures were terrible. Sorry, the idea of Steven Spielberg having fish figures just set me off.
It's amazing. Yeah, that's a great concept.
They're this camp, and then they agree to with Marion, and then we see Oxley doing this, and they're like, we did what he's doing. We don't know what to do with him, and then he says, "Get me a piece of paper and a pen." Now we've got exclusive access to what Ox wrote. Okay, now we've all seen what he writes in the final film, but we've got access to what he actually wrote. So on the first attempt, they gave him the pen and the piece of paper, and he did this. Disgusting, right? Second one, he did this. More disgusting. Third one, helpful. Now, thank you, Ox. Thank you. Now, while they're
exactly the same position for all three takes.
All three takes.
Good answer.
Now, is it right that you watch a film like this and you get irritated because Indy and the Russians are all working towards the same cause, right? And at this point, they're like, well, yeah, he's drawn as the way to get to Akator. It's a map. It's great. While Indy's talking to the Russians, Mutt's like, I can get us out of this. So he kicks over the table, burns down the tent. They run off. And they instantly fall in quicksand.
Every solution to get out of a pickle is the easiest solution ever. Right, I've got a brilliant idea how to get out of this tent. Right, let's set fire to the tent. Oh, fucking genius you are! Right, and all right, we'll do that then. And all of it is so dumb. It's like there's no ingenuity in this film.
No.
Well, I think it's worth flagging up that before that scene happens, that he's talking to Kate Blanchett, the Russian.
And we barely mentioned.
Yeah, she's Stalin's number 3 intelligence officer or something, and she's obsessed with finding a way to do psychic warfare. That's why she wants the crystal skull because quote, let me see now. The skull's crystal opens an underdeveloped part of the human brain, opening a psychic channel. First bit of neuroscience in the film, so I was happy with that. Makes absolutely no sense. Doesn't do anything, but it's one of those things like I could say that doesn't work, but in this film it might be, so I just ignored it. So, but yeah, that's her thing. She wants a psychic weapon.
We're halfway through the film, and we find out what the stakes are. And as you say, first of all, let's take away the fact that it's science-y bollocks. But it's like the stakes are: if the Soviets get the crystal skull, they will get some quite vaguely defined psychic powers, and they'll be able to influence America's political leaders.
Yeah, they do describe what they'll do. Yeah, so
but it's not like. So, but basically, what they can achieve with the crystal skull is exactly the same as you can with a good old-fashioned bribe, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
After I watched this, I went back and I watched that bit of Denham Elliott's bit in Raiders of the Lost Ark. And in the first 20 minutes, in the first 15 minutes, when they're talking and they've got the picture of the Ark of the Covenant, all the things going on. And Denham Elliott has that amazing moment where he says, an army that carries the Ark before it is invincible. And his performance is amazing. The camera move it in, and straight away you're like, fuck, I'm in.
Yeah.
I know what happens if the good guy loses you. Yeah, it's like, first of all, it's halfway through a film, so who gives a shit? And it's quite vague and shit. This film is quite easily fixable. Right, because it does everything wrong. It sets up the characters at the wrong time and for the wrong reasons. The stakes are not established until this point, and they're not great. I could live. The CGI is rubbish. We're about to have a really big CGI sequence, and it's fucking dreadful. The fact that it's aliens instead of the thing that gave Indiana Jones is the for lack of a better word, the gravitas is the fact that it's about religious artifacts. It almost feels like it's part of our world, but it's unworldly. Aliens, fuck off, right?
Yeah,
and
totally.
If they had just figured out one of these things, it would have been such a better film. But it's just this wave of terrible decisions that were so easily solved by us.
Yes, I think all of this could easily have been solved if Indy had established fairly early on in that classroom that he wore no trousers or pants, and his cock just said "Love me" on it.
But also, because
for the rest of this film, he just is dressed like that.
But because he's old now, he's got his phone number tattooed on his balls because this is stretched down really far,
and a fax number, oddly, and they wouldn't even exist then.
Yeah. If I'm not in, contact Jim Broadbent.
And then in brackets it says the character's name.
I'm just going to plug in my laptop. Hang on.
Okay.
Oh God, we got action.
You carry on, boys.
All right, I'll carry on. So they run into a desert clearing, not desert, jungle clearing, with Ox. I hate these called Ox.
Yeah.
Mutt
and Ox.
Marion and Indiana. And they go into like a sinking sand type thing.
Oh, this scene wound me the fuck up. I'm sorry.
And Marion says, by the way, Mutt, who earlier on, by the way, mentioned that he was sick of fencing. That's important. And they wanted to drop out of school. By the way, Mutt is your son. And he's like, what? And then Mutt comes back with a rope, which is actually a snake.
And I'm very surprised as well. But remember, I only did you up the arse. That's why you're such a little shit. And then, classic banter.
Delightful.
Nature finds a way.
Yeah. He's really nonplussed about his. Like, you have a son. I disagree with the way he
does have that great line in the van where he says, "Look, if he doesn't want to go to college, he doesn't have to go to college. Okay, he's your son. You should have made him go to college."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's a line. He's like, why did he let him out of school? Like, well, first off, fuck off. You have no decision in his life. Secondly, aren't you a little bit more, shouldn't this be more impactful for you? Like, I have a son. I've known I've got a son for like 6 seconds. My first thoughts are, I disagree with the choices made about his educational pathway. Like, all right, mate.
I don't know, mind. bear in mind, Indiana Jones is Welsh, and I know you are as well. But I think there's a Welsh dad thing about like you need to learn a trade.
Yeah. You better be fucking. You've got something to fall back on. See, that's what you need. Something to fall back on.
You can't just be running around the jungle, John Hurt. That's not a job.
So the thing is,
painted and decorated. That's what you want. You can never go wrong.
His Welsh dad would approve though, because he's a motorcycle repairman.
Yeah.
That's very Welsh.
Yeah.
There's always fucking bikes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, especially the fucking Korean ones.
Yeah. If you move into vans, brilliant. Everyone needs a van, but
well, not as many people as need a bike. Right.
No,
the point is, I'm going to buy you a fucking spanner set. You're set for life.
Combine the two, repair vans, sell hot dogs.
You got a good relief of him.
So yeah, they're rescued from the sand by snakes. I hate this bit more than anything. I think
it's vile.
Where he says, "Don't say it's a snake, say it's a rope."
I'm going to say also, as someone who's worked with some animals, that snake is very calm about this whole procedure. It would have been fucking furious by this point.
He says it's a rat snake. I don't know what that means. Does that mean it's a rattlesnake, or does it mean it's a snake rat? Or...
It's clearly a python size. I don't think if rat snakes, I don't know what that is, but I don't think they grow that.
You know, it'd be better if Mark came out and said, "I can't find anything. Hold on to my cock."
Yeah,
unfurls
and I'll walk backwards and pull you out. Yeah.
If you actually want to be helpful, what if you took your jacket off? You hold on to one sleeve, I'll hold on to the other. We don't get a snake involved, and I get out of this.
Or my cock. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, yeah. If
also he gets his cock, unrolls it. Like, he is my son. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
that's just his balls.
He is my old son.
So yeah, they get out, and then he tells Ox to go and get help, and of course Ox, because he's a fucking idiot and a burden on everybody he ever knows, he brings the might of the Russian army back to them.
Yeah, who are nearby, it turns out. Yeah.
I mean, if I knew Ox for 30 years and I saw him behaving like he is now, I'd fucking throw over the cuckoo's nest, that prick, smother him to death with a pillow, because it's clearly a blessed relief. The man is either he's writing or he's mixing a Delia Smith recipe that he never got round to. Or he's swinging a fucking didgeridoo, or he's talking bollocks. Just fucking murder him.
And they keep letting him have the skull as well, like the most priceless artifact. Let's give it to that guy who is in the best, with all due respect, not compos mentis.
He's mentally ill, Dean.
He's very disturbed. Let's go with that much.
Yeah, he's very disturbed. He's making carvings in the floor and getting his knob out. We haven't seen he's got his knob out, but I assume he is.
What is theoretically what could have happened to him? Let's pretend this is not COD science. What could have happened?
Well, they're trying to say that the skull, if you look at it enough, drives you insane.
Yeah, but as soon as the skull goes at the end, he's fine again. So
this is the thing. This is why it doesn't work, because as soon as he holds the skull, he's back to his normal self.
Well, later on, when the skull. Okay, fine. I'll try and defend it scientifically, because that seems to be a thing. Go on. They later on established that the skull, crystal skull, is one of the aliens. They're part of a hive mind, which is still working. They're all dead. God knows how that works. But it's trying to connect to something. So I think it's basically looking at the skull, he's getting interference from the projection. So he's linked to it, but he can't. He's not an alien. He's just being messed up. Once it's connected to something else, it leaves him alone, and he's like back to himself. And that is sort of again trying to fix things. If it brought it to me, I could have said this. You need to say that. You need to say, it has stopped trying to connect to me. I'm not compatible. Gone to them. But I think, although we say they can fix these films by giving them to us, they have to make the films first at great expense. We tell them what's wrong with them, and that's.
We can just have the script. Don't film a frame yet, boys. We're gonna have a squint at it. We'll be right back to you after the weekend, which is longer than David Kep fucking took to write the old cunt thing.
Fair point.
So they go back, and then they're put in the back of a truck. We have more hilarious banter about how Indiana Jones is the dad now.
That photo I sent you of them in the back of the truck. Have you got that?
Yes, I'll get it up. I'll get it up, as Indy once said.
Yeah, this Russian guy, he's my favorite guy in the film, because they
Ian Hart.
Yeah, they're doing the hilarious banter. Is it Ian Hart again? Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ian Hart henchman. Yeah.
Yeah, this bit, like they're doing their very tired banter, and he just turns and said, "Oh, for the love of God, shut the hell up!" It's right. He knows this guy is on the level. So I thought that was a really sort of fun bit. Just him screaming at them, "Stop doing false banter!"
Yeah, because it's terrible banter. Terrible banter. You know what would be funny if the Russian guard suddenly willy-coptered out of the van and flew off.
Yeah. It's by no means the most unlikely thing to happen in this film. So why worry about it?
I mean, it's better than the ending he gets, isn't it? If he suddenly was chocked away and then flew off, but he doesn't do that, sadly. And I know I got about helicopters too much, but I find it funny, especially if someone takes flight with it, like Rocketeer. If Rocketeer was about a man who, instead of inheriting a rocket pack, had a helicopter, that'd be a much better film. Because it's unique to him.
That's got a big henchman fight as well. So yes, I was thinking Rocketeer. Yeah,
he could helicopter the henchman in the face. Anyway, so much try. Sorry, here we go. So snake joke. Thank you very much. The next day, while en route to the ancient city, Jones and his team, it says here on Wikipedia, fight their way out. We get them kicking Ian Hart in the face a few times. We get this awkward joke where he gives Indiana Jones the flick knife and he puts it behind him and then activates it, and we get this kind of wah, 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 and he goes, "You all right?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Yeah. What happened there?
Yeah. And then Mark gets in the front of the car with Marion and he says, "What's he going to do now?" And then he brings out a fucking bazooka and he blows up the truck, and then this giant blade starts bouncing down the road. And it might be one of those things that when you storyboard it looks fun, but it's so shit. I hate it.
Because the convoy's been led by this Russian super fast logger, which is just cutting down trees. It's really steampunk, isn't it? So it's throwing steampunk into the mix as well as aliens and biblical
I'm sure
stuff.
that they existed. I'm just saying you don't bring it with you.
Yeah.
Don't think you bring it with you.
Yeah. And also, I don't think they go that fast. They go like
fast.
40, 50 miles an hour.
Bothering with we get tons of these. Like we haven't been using them a lot. But we got one, but it's doing a trick. But it is good element lick, but it looks fake. That's the thing.
Everything looks fake at this point.
Yeah, not a lot of dense jungle in the Russian steppes as well. By the way, just want to point that out.
Say that again.
Not a lot of dense jungle in the Russian steppes. I'm not sure that would be a priority technology for the Red Army, but
we had to borrow this from the Americans. That was an embarrassing ask. I'll tell you that for nothing.
like they did in Chernobyl. There you go, Chernobyl fans. Yeah, but at this point, as Dan points out, every single thing that happens looks fake as fuck. Yeah, and that's the whole thing about Indiana Jones.
The rest of this film looks like it was filmed on the same place as they did the HTV Wales weather updates in the 80s. Right? It's just shite now. It looks shite. Right? No one is. In fact, sometimes there's bits in the car chase that's coming up where you can tell that everyone was 3 feet apart the whole time. But they had all right, you stand there, we're on different cars, and they'll zoom apart. Oh, we'll just do that in post. So they're just dull stuff, but the perspective on the actors doesn't change, even though they're moving on different parts of the screen. It's just go out and film it, you bunch of twats. Leave Burbank. I know you want to be on by half 5, but you don't get to be because you've got to do a car chase. Grow up.
Yeah. It's an Indiana Jones show. It's not like this is like a small property. It's like people are waiting for this.
It costs $200 million. It just go somewhere and do it. There are jungles. I don't mind if you build a set or even if you do green screen for something that doesn't exist. But I've seen jungles. There's fucking loads of them, right? Yeah. Go out there. You're gonna train, you lazy sods, right? And I know it's not spectacular. It doesn't. You think that there's moments in like Last Crusade that. When he's hanging on the gun on the side of the tank, and it's like, and he's got like the bit of the cliff coming out, and he's going to get crushed. Yeah, it's not low stakes because he's going to die, but it's not visually that impressive. But because it's real, it feels so much more tense. I don't need a CGI cliff for a bunch of bollocks stuck in cars. Films that are real, we will be way more invested. And I don't know some granddad here going, "It's not like it was in the old days." But it wasn't, and this is shit.
Also, they're chucking around this crystal skull like it's a balloon.
Yeah,
isn't it supposed to have some heft to it?
Yeah. To agree with Dan's point, at least King Solomon's Bank, at least they went to a garden centre to film it. They were there.
Yeah.
So that actually made a
They went to
difference.
South Africa. Yeah, they're in a studio. And there's a bit coming up where we get the payoff to Mutt's odd line earlier on. He's like, yeah, I moved around loads of schools. He's like, I did this, that, and the other. And he goes, fencing. And you're like,
I did say that today because he does.
Yeah. And then he has a sword fight with Spalko. But it's all... They're both standing on a car on a green screen and everything's been put on afterwards.
Yeah, it's really false.
So awful.
But I'll flag up. Do you remember her line? What she says to him?
No.
Yeah. You fight like a young man, eager to begin, quick to finish. A premature ejaculation joke in an Indiana Jones film. So, that's where we're at, apparently.
Indy should go, who told you?
I see.
Was it Marcus?
Yes.
Marcus, what did he tell you? Because he never complained. Let me tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Oxley said
it off for years.
Oxley said you're easy on wrist.
Can we get to the bit that I despise more than life itself? Where Mutt gets knocked off of the truck and ends up with a monkey who looks like him.
This is a lovely. Usually the phrase is "I love you more than life itself," but you've gone with "I despise this more than life itself."
No, not saying that John's existence is bleak, but
it's pretty bleak. It's pretty bleak because
awfulness.
I want to know if the joke here is that the monkey they've chosen for these scenes has a similar haircut to Mutt. Is that the joke?
Is that a joke?
The monkeys have got little quiffs.
Oh God, really?
I don't know what kind of monkey it is, but it's got a little pompadour quiff.
I didn't even pick up on that because I was just so like,
and I thought,
that's unfortunate.
And I thought, do they think
we've the comments have just been spammed by a webcam chat channel?
Okay,
really?
And
yeah.
Well done. We've arrived.
I've blocked it. It's blocked.
Then how are we going to talk to local girls in our area?
Wow. I suppose we'll have to go out of our houses and do it, Dan.
Are they local girls or hot singles? Because I get told about both.
There's a queue outside.
There you go.
Oh God.
Oh, I've got a snooker queue.
I've got a moth.
Yeah. So yeah, he bumps into this monkey who looks like we are in a shed. He bumps into this monkey. He's got the same haircut. And I want to think: are they saying that because he looks like them, they want to help? Is that what we're doing here?
I honestly, I didn't give it that much thought. And this is me. I've got 5 pages of notes about the fucking magnet at the start. So yeah, I will say.
I think that's what we're saying. Go on.
The again, Amazon X-Ray decided to do my job for me. They said this scene, like basically, for those who haven't seen it, they show him how to swing via the vines like Tarzan or George of the Jungle. Catch up with the convoy of battling Russians and Indiana Jones. And Amazon X-Ray states such swinging is impossible as these particular vines grow from the ground up. So
also, this is, I mean, I didn't know that about the vines. I don't know that much about vines, but there's he's in the van, he's in the back of the van, he gets hunked up, he gets caught up in like a loop of vines, and the minute he gets caught up, he gets pulled right up. Like, well, they're not elastic vines. It's not like the monkey's going, we got one. Fucking prick. Right?
You know who caught him, don't you? The people that live upside down in
Upside down. Yes, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, the upside down tribe.
That's right.
Yeah.
Victor Khayyam's up there and says, hey, monkeys, help him out. Yeah.
Anybody need a shirt washed?
Yeah. I think that might be the first callback to a different episode so far, apart from the impression reference.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to alienate new people.
Yeah.
But if you like, if you're enjoying this, please sign up to the Patreon. There's 49 other episodes.
1 hour and 35 minutes. That's the first callback to a different episode. Done really well.
Jesus, we gotta get moving. But yeah, so Mutt swings with these monkeys.
Not like that.
Not like that. They don't bum each other. They might.
It's a weird scene in a Curry's car park.
Curry's. So he goes swinging with the monkeys, not like that, and and I assume we have that scene where Mutt looks at the monkey looks at Mutt, and I'm thinking they've got similar hair. So Spielberg's trying to say the monkey's like, you're one of us, we're going to help you. And then they land back on the Jeep with Spalko, and then they all attack each other. The monkeys attack her and her men. But in the worst, these monkeys make the monkeys from Jumanji look like
Yeah,
Avatar.
Yeah.
The monkeys from Jumanji at least were consistent with the film. These ones just stand out.
The thing is, as he's swinging down, he hasn't had time to brief the monkeys on right. Basically, aim for the ones with the olive uniforms.
Yeah. Like imagine they full so America and Russia are engaged in a sort of socio-political conflict, which is all about
that the monkeys are aware of and have been following the papers.
Yeah. Are you familiar with mutually assured destruction?
A monkey lands and goes, Cuban Missile Crisis, awful.
Bay of Pigs.
People were disenfranchised. I don't know why they're Chinese.
Oh God.
Don't blame me, Spielberg. Spielberg did it.
Yeah, no, it's your fault.
So he grabs the skull back, and then they carry on. And then Indy does this when he's driving the Jeep. He goes, oh, and I thought, they're going over the waterfall, or he's coming in his pants, one of the two. But they go for like a little speed bump, and they land in the land of ants.
Right, Dean, you're the one who knows science.
Okay.
These ants. These ants seem like pricks, right? There's a lot of them, and they seem like pricks.
Yeah, they seem weirdly smart for ants, don't they? They adapt very quickly.
It's like phase 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are prick ants a real thing in science, Dean?
Yeah, please, can you tell us?
Well, if you mean prick as in you will feel a prick, yes, they are very common.
No, belly, wanker.
Are there man-eating ants, Dean?
Yeah.
No, there are bullet ants, which are give you the most painful bite in insect in the insect kingdom. But no, there aren't any ants which will actively try and fuck you up because you're there. Outside my field, but I'm going to say no.
Well, I'm sorry, but I saw a documentary today called Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and you're quite wrong.
If anything, ants are the perfect communists, so they would leave the Russians well alone.
Yeah, they are. They have a Stalin, and they do everything for him.
Exactly. They have no individual identity. They are for the collective. They would be after Indiana, if nothing else. So nothing about this makes sense.
No, they'd look after the Russian fella. They'd say, "Would you like a cup of tea?"
Yeah.
Or one of those weird pastries you eat.
In Antive, tea makes you, and so on.
Exactly. So the ants avoid Ox. Now I like to think it's not because he's holding the crystal skull. It's because he fucking stinks.
He looks like he stinks. Yeah.
He looks like he fucking stinks.
Ants communicate with
pheromones. He's got the entire Asda cheese counter on his bell end. I bet he's fucking
washes his hair with Coke. I mean, he's going to have ants in his hair all the time.
That's a good point. Yeah, they would love Mutt. They would be devouring him senselessly. Oh, this guy is a treasure trove of carbohydrates. We need that.
Yeah. But so Indy has a punch up with the Ian Hart Russian, which goes on for too long, and the Ian Hart Russian falls down and then gets devoured by ants. But that horrible thing happens where they try and replicate a man's shape in a substance, which they did in CGI 20 years ago. In this case, he's so covered in ants that when he moves his limbs, there's loads of brown ants going up and down.
Yeah.
And he gets dragged into the ant hole, and then his feet go down, and then we never see him again.
Right at the ant hole. The thing about this, there's, again, very expensive film, and it's not that old a film. Somebody went, yeah, that looked great.
But this, again, it sums it up, because in Raiders of the Lost Ark, they've got a room full of fucking real snakes. Temple of Doom. A room full of disgusting actual insects of every kind.
Scene, that is. Yeah, that's really quite horrific.
And then, it is. And then Last Crusade, hundreds and thousands of rats. And this one, they've gone CGI ants. And it's like, no, they're not frightening because they don't look real.
Thing, and it's fake in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, this is
they look like shit.
Yeah. It's got it's borderline Deep Blue Sea vibes. It's like these sharks are not real. These ants are not there. Clearly, there's no.
I'd rather see Ox's anus.
I'll go that far, but okay. I wouldn't go as far as Ox's anus. The ants.
I'd rather see John Hurt's puckered arsehole than the ants. I'd rather get
covered in claggers.
Yeah, I would rather somebody this whole sequence was replaced with John Hurt squatting down and taking a shit, and everyone like a close up of his arsehole, and everyone going, "Let's not go over there," and then moving on towards the temple, because this is worse than that.
It is worse than that. Definitely, it's offensive.
Today,
Whereas John Hurt taking a shit is not offensive. Sorry, Phil.
Today, I was invited to join in another conference whereby we just decide the future of European science communication with experts from all over the world, and this is what I'm doing now. So that's good. That's good.
Did you say, can we look at John Hurt's bucket arsehole?
It was a pre-planning meeting, so in the meeting I will happily bring it up. How can we work John Hurt's
Can I
bucket
get into the next
arsehole
meeting, please?
Yeah, no, I'll just tell them you're me, and then no one's going to know.
Yeah, tell him I'm the preeminent expert on, what was it you said?
Ants.
Ants, yeah,
No,
it's ants.
Not ants.
Ants and monkeys.
What was the thing?
The conference, it's a science communication in Europe-wide infrastructures.
You're not playing Europe anymore, Dean. Right, you lost. Get over it.
Yeah, that's it. Lovely.
You shouldn't be talking there anymore. British science not good enough for you, is it?
So, meanwhile, all this is going on. Marion has driven past the cliff and gone, and then she comes back. Indy and Mac and everybody jumps back in the car. By the way, at this point, he's punched Mac twice, and then Mac said, "I'm a double, triple, quadruple agent, mate. I said it here in the tent like when we were in Berlin, and that meant we were both." And Indy goes, "Double agents." It's exhausting. So they all get in the car, but this is the special car that's also about.
But that's a real thing, apparently. I looked that up. That amphibious Jeep. It is a thing.
Yeah.
So fair enough.
Yeah.
I can't argue that.
She drives towards the cliff, and I was like, "Marion, what are you doing?" But she's got a plan. She's going to drive the Jeep into a tree, which is going to be perfectly land. It's like Mythbusters. Perfectly land them in the water. And when they evacuate the tree, it's going to then fling back up and kill loads of Russians. And bloody hell, it works first time.
Yeah. Well, what are the odds? I would say astronomical. But hey,
and then John Hurt goes, 3 times it drops. I thought he was talking about his balls, but no. They have to go over 3 waterfalls.
This annoyed me. 3 waterfalls seems excessive. 1 would be fine.
Also,
1 would be fine.
It's not exciting to see people go over a waterfall. Right, so that's one issue. The other issue is
not a real waterfall.
Not real waterfalls. Right, I think they have helicopter shots of real waterfalls, and then they move on to the next one. It's like that doesn't match where they just were at all. And also, the last waterfall they get to, you notice that there's a small mini waterfall just before it. We didn't see them go over that.
Oh yeah, good point.
It's had continuity, and you know what? And if they're on location, I wouldn't say so much. They've CGI'd this. They knew what the how can they still done continuity errors?
Why are they bothering CGIing in this aquatic car at a waterfall and not CGIing a massive fucking cock coming out of Indiana Jones's trousers?
I put it to you.
Yeah, dear Steven Spielberg, I want the theme from Tea Stone Cold. I wonder why. Get out of bed at all. Dear Steven Spielberg, you still haven't answered my letter. Why hasn't Indiana Jones got a massive cock coming out of his trousers at the end of King of the Crystal Skull?
And I want to thank you for giving me the best years of my life.
Now, still though.
There has not been any plot in this film for 25 minutes.
No, it's just fucking embarrassing.
Do we get any more at this point?
Chase scene, ants, pluck out of his trousers, falling off a waterfall. There's no plot now until the end, and then nothing. Indiana Jones or them don't achieve nothing now for the rest of the film.
No. Like again, it was the film like Lost Ark. If you'd not been there, the same things would have happened. So this is almost like that.
It wasn't shite. That's what they've done. What they've done in Raiders of the Lost Ark is in the first meeting was like, we want to make a film, but we'd like to not be shite. And on this one, we went, we're making another Indiana Jones film. There's going to be a twist in this one. What's that? It's shite.
You can either be good or you can be owned by 5. Pick one.
Yeah, we did the first one good. Second one was fine. Third one good. People want to be expecting this one to be absolute shite, and that's when you get them. See, they like a twist.
Technically, it should be fine, but no.
I mean, M. Night Shyamalan's been doing that for years.
Yeah, exactly.
And the twist, he goes to a Hollywood studio, and what's the twist? M. Night Shyamalan, it's shite. Oh, I like it.
The Welsh accent too. That's marvelous.
Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan. He's fucking dead the whole fucking time, right?
Oh God, marvelous.
I love that. And the twist in the video is it's just normal West Wales, and at the end you find out that it's near the M4.
I'd love it if at the end of every M. Night Shyamalan film, the twist is that they're in West Wales. Whatever the film's about. The Sixth Sense. Are you dead? No, I'm in West Wales. Oh my God. The village. Oh, it turns out we were living in West Wales.
Split.
Oh,
West Wales.
Turns out we're in West Wales.
Unbreakable.
No, she's just from West Wales. Oh, fair enough then.
Unbreakable works just in West Wales. Yeah, that's fine.
Is she in the water? No, she's just raining a lot in West Wales.
Yeah, she's just in a pond. Like,
if the end of his whole film career he'd said the twist was it was all West Wales, that would be a very Shyamalan thing to do.
Yeah,
would. Yeah. I think we should text him. So they arrive at the place.
Airbender does sound like a nickname you'd get in West Wales as well. Right, Airbender? What does that even mean?
Yeah. It means I think it means he stuck a vacuum up his arse once, didn't it? Like, yeah, he's an airbender, that guy. Sat in a Hoover.
So they arrive at the temple, and Ox is like, "Oh, Hoover avocado chess set." They're like, "What the fuck?" And then he's like, "No, huh?"
Just where are they at this point? Are they still in Peru? Or
They've arrived at the Akator, but they can't get in. It's like a puzzle.
So it's in the Amazon.
And that's where Ray Winston gives my favorite line of, "What a stupid legend! What a waste of my time!"
I could have been. I had 5 other legends I was looking into doing.
Yeah.
I've done this like a rock out.
God.
But Ox intimates that they had to get in.
The Legend of Bag of Ants before you got involved. This is legend. I was with Legends of the Fall.
Yeah.
Legends of the Fall. Done.
That had a Welshman in it as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We get around.
I think
get around.
Well, we'll see when we go to the pub. So they work out that they have to knock out this little bit of concrete to let all the sand pour out.
Yeah, and they lift these stone slabs, which are really heavy, aren't they? Jesus Christ. It's very, very blatant.
I mean, let's be honest. From this point onwards, it's just wank. They get in. They discover that. They discover that we as the audience discover that Spalco is following them because Ray Winston is now like what, quadruple agent?
Oh yeah.
And he's leaving markers,
tracking devices, which are well ahead of the technology of the time. But you know,
first of all, I'm leaving a really subtle tracking thing. It beeps and it goes light. Right?
Yeah.
No, they'll never see that in a dark corridor. What's the thing going bleep and light? Well, I don't know. It's probably Incan technology. No, I don't think it is. It says made in fucking Liensk, right? So, oh God, I hate this one.
It looks like the thing that Douglas Quaid gets out of his nose in Total Recall.
Yeah.
So they go in.
The flag up, those are clearly the red big light. That's clearly an LED, which was invented 5 years later. But you know, who gives a shit?
History shamed.
Invented, or did you just know that?
I just looked up this right now because I was curious.
You could have got away with that. You could have.
But
could have done.
I don't. But I am an honest person. I would lose credibility if someone found out that I didn't do that. So
who's gonna?
I
was in his shed and I saw him look up when was LEDs.
Yeah. But
he's not a neuroscientist. He's Googling.
He writes about brain tits, Dan. He's an honest man.
Counter question: who listens to this and watches this podcast? People who are, you know, attention to detail is their thing.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid that this podcast is peer reviewed, and it is not.
Well, until I hear otherwise, I'm going to carry
on. So they get inside the temple, and then we then see the Guardians. Who
God.
Can we talk about this?
Yes,
they're all living behind stone things in the walls.
They're living every shift. They have to stick themselves to a bit of wall, cover themselves in mud like it's Predator, and hope that something comes up. Otherwise, they're just sitting there going, "I wish I brought a book."
Yeah. I also will say King Solomon's Mines ruined.
I mean, fuck, how long have they been there?
Yeah.
Just random tribes just happen to be here to service the plot.
Yeah. This is the Mudwall tribe. Don't
Well,
ask them to do your own
King
thing.
Solomon's Mines gives you 3 tribes for your. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like this. These are the same clocks.
These fuckers.
From the graveyard earlier. It's just like hanging about, hoping that there'll be some reason to do some gardening.
Feels like it's an inherited job. Like my father did this, my father before him, and I'm going to do it as well. Why?
My father hid himself in a wall. His father before him himself in a wall. They tell me I haven't met them because they were in a wall. See?
Yeah, it's what? Come on. I don't think it's necessary either. It's like people who are. Oh, is John gone?
Has John gone?
Oh, he's not saying
Everyone's
anything.
John gone. John's back.
There we go.
But I think he might be delayed.
Okay. So you can hear me, Dan?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, my internet went for a second, but I'm back. I think.
Good. There we are. Marvelous. Good.
Don't get this in Wales. Where we
Yep.
invented the internet, technically.
We invented gossip. Let's go with that.
Facts. I'm so drunk now. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, John has gone now.
Oh, yeah, it's gone. He's gone. or he stormed out because we upset him with our Welsh prowess.
You know what? When he comes back, we'll go. And in the end, they don't get married. Oh, we finished it. That was the end of that one.
Okay, cool.
I don't know what happens if the host of the podcast leaves. I don't know if he can get back in. Oh, you can.
Hello, I'm back.
So in the end, they got married, and that's
Yeah,
who cares,
I had to
you
go
know.
and read.
And we finished the film. We're done.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I didn't want to talk about it anymore because I was getting really depressed. Because I was making genuine notes up to this point, but once we get the Guardians coming out of the walls, and like you said earlier, my father and his father were in the walls, and I just thought nothing really happens from here on in. Mac finds gold. They put the skull back on the.
Yeah, we see a little bit of the golden of the temple. The king, well, it's the Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls we see for about 30 seconds, and it looks like the game Mist from 1996, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Marion.
So who took the skull? Who took the skull?
Yeah, that's a question.
John Hurt, wasn't it? Didn't he get there?
Yeah, but how?
Yeah, but didn't the Conquistador have a skull?
Oh, he had a skull.
Or was that just hidden?
Oh, I don't care.
Well, I think it's so much convoluted here. Like the whole, like, it's not mystical religious stuff now. It's aliens, but also there's other aliens who led to the path of the first aliens. Who were the same aliens.
But Spielberg was at great pains. Like I say, I watched all the bump for this shit. He kept saying they are not aliens because he'd just done War of the Worlds. They are interdimensional beings.
Oh, it's the same thing. You massive silly.
From this planet. That's all that matters.
Yeah, they look like aliens. They look like literally the aliens from X-Files, your bell pad.
He says to Kate Capshaw, "You are not washing up. You are cleaning the dishes.
You are domestic engineering. That's what you're doing. You have value."
Yeah. So let's cut a long story short here, because Spalko puts the skull on the last alien, and she says, "I want to know everything." They give her this grumpy look, which, by the way, Dan pointed out earlier, looks like something else. Yep. Yes.
It's eerily similar. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yes, and it makes her head explode, and then
oh god,
Mac has the chance. Mac has the chance to leave, but he grabs gold, and then he says, "It's all right, mate."
Yeah,
and then he
tried to
dies.
save him, despite being double crossed twice for a guy. I maintain.
Why would you fucking bother? I would stamp on his neck and leave.
Yeah.
And then they get outside.
There's a bit where they have a bit of a tense situation where Marion and Indy were about to kiss, but it's very awkward. It looks like two teenagers trying to kiss the first time and going like, like,
is that when Mark throws the corpse at Indy?
Yeah, he throws a corpse at him to stop him. But like, as cock blocking goes, that is a hard to beat move.
That's the sort of thing Sutcliffe would have done. Yeah, so they watch the spaceship fly away, and then they have a little They have a little chat, and then
it turns out the whole city is a spaceship, a gigantic flying saucer.
Yeah.
And, blah, blah, blah.
And then we get Indy and Marion are marrying, and then we get fucking Ox has the brass balls to turn up and tidy himself up. It's like, mate, you've caused all this trouble.
Also, when the flying saucer disappears, where do they go? Space? No, to the space between spaces. Oh, fuck off! That's one of those things. You see like on a Facebook meme. There, you must go to the space. Piss off! You don't know what you're talking about. You're just talking profound for the sake of it.
Just nonsense. So they have their wedding, and then we get the bit that everybody was terrified about, where the door opens and Indy's hat blows across the room, and Muck goes to pick it up. And Indy picks up. He's like, "No fucking way!"
Yeah, I would say
no.
When Sheila Booth picks up that hat, like it was very Star Wars moment when 10 million movie fans cried out in pain, and was suddenly silence.
Just no fucking way are you touching this. And he leaves with Marion, and that's the end.
Yep.
Oh, God, thank Christ. I
think there's a solid 15 minutes in this that are fun, and the rest of it is just so painful.
Action sequences. The fun bits are the quiet bits, right? And it's him looking at maps, and it's him talking to Karen Allen, right? And again, I'm not convinced that they get married. It's like, oh, should we get married? Well, we haven't seen each other in a while, and last remember, I got done for nonsense you, if you remember.
Oh yeah. I was just a child, she says.
You keep bringing that up, and I'm tired of having it held against me, if I'm honest.
But she was.
So was I.
According to the backstory, he was 25 and she was 15 when they got together. So that's bad. But okay, how long ago it was?
And he took her friends, who were a group of scouts, on a roller coaster. They had to eat their lunch. That's a Jibble Fix-It joke for all the kids out there.
So that happened, and I think there is. It's like somebody took a good film, dropped it on the floor, and didn't put it back together properly.
But don't worry, there's another one coming out.
Who's directing this one?
The next one's being done by his name escapes me. He did Copland, James Mangold.
Yeah. I think
who did Logan and Copland.
I think it is going to. I mean, it's as long as he remembers to actually go places to film it and not just do it in like a.
But at Glasgow.
Yeah, I think the thing is that they've done city places, but also it's set in 1969, isn't it?
But there's been loads of photos from behind the scenes where there's Nazis and there's a stuntman who looks like Harrison Ford with a mask on with dots. So I think there's going to be loads of prequel stuff going on.
Don't do that. I don't want plasticky Harrison Ford either. In fact, let me just be the first or last, in fact, to say, let's just let Harrison Ford die. It's what he wants. He keeps plowing into the surface of the earth at 200 miles an hour.
He does, to be fair, yeah.
He wants the pain to end. Right?
We've had this in a previous episode, like, and they won't let me die. He's genuinely, he's trying his best, but he seems indestructible because he drank from the Grail. That's the problem.
But he hasn't. He just keeps landing his plane slightly too flat. Right?
Well, he did drink from the Grail, but he also left the Grail premises, which means it doesn't work anymore.
And the point is,
I want a sitcom with him in that night, like The Odd Couple. You chose poorly. Oh, stop talking about my choice of buying orange juice.
I didn't know she was 15.
No, not that.
No.
Well,
well, we talked for 2 hours about Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
there's one thing I want to address. Somebody tried to guess what my pint mug was from, and guessed that it was the Eisteddfod one. This is in fact from the 2018 Tavoil Festival in Cardiff. So there we are.
Cool.
Well, there we are. Thank you for joining us on our 50th episode. We've been going for a long time, and we also didn't mention that Dan Aykroyd has a line of Crystal Skull vodka, and Dan Aykroyd has haunted us for 50 weeks, essentially, nearly.
Dan Aykroyd is the reason this podcast exists, because it was all to do with loose cannons.
Loose Cannons is where it actually officially started, yeah.
Because I said to Dan, you do that thing with John Rain, you should do this one because it looks like something you'd enjoy. And you said, you fucking do it. And I will, essentially. And I did, and here we are. It's been quite a ride.
And we're probably end up with this forever. As I've said before, I find it charming that for all the work that Dean has done to get a PhD in brain tits, every week, the three of us, now I have no formal qualifications. I believe, John, you have an HND in hands or something. This one's got a PhD
in dishes, yeah.
Yeah. This was PhD in bridge, and we all end up in the same place on a Tuesday and took absolute shite. And it's, I would say, it's the joy of our professional lives.
That absolutely should be. And if you're going to confess stuff, again, like I've put a shirt and tie on this evening because it's it's a formal occasion, I think, an anniversary, but it's also a very the weather's very hot right now. So just so everyone knows, we have this going on here, full of shorts this entire time. Shirt, tie, shorts. The neighbours looked at me very funny when I walked into
Genuinely,
the garden.
I thought your wang was coming out then.
I did as well. Yeah.
Love be written on it. That would be such a lovely close.
I thought you were going to helicopter out of your shed.
I genuinely thought we were about to finally see Dean Burnett brain.
No, if I thought about it, I could have written "Love Me" on it, and we could have had full circle. It would have been nice, but I'm afraid not. But I've been having shorts and flip flops the entire time, like people assume newsreaders do. But it's very hot right now.
It is very hot. Even in Wales, it's hot.
Yeah, that's when we know the world is dying.
Right, 50 episodes done. Next week we'll be back. Dean's picking, and we're doing Dean.
Don't mess with the Zohan, the Adam Sandler comedy about the Middle Eastern peace crisis. So there'll be some controversial material, I imagine.
And we're back to audio, so that'll be a treat for your Wednesday mornings, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, back with audio. Thank you so much, and thanks for listening. And I'll leave you with this final thought. If you are left bereft, alone, and you must atone for what you've done before, return the skull. Return the skull. Because one day you might end up in Hull.
They're getting more avant-garde, isn't they? That's what I like about them.
Yeah, it's almost Butterfly Man, but not quite.
Nothing will be Butterfly Man.
No.
So I will say good night to you, Dean.
Thank you, John. Good night to you. And thank you for 50 happy times.
Good night, Dan.
Thank you for 50 hand jobs. Whatever.
You're welcome.
Well, great. Bye, everybody.
We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This ain't gonna be easy.
Not as easy as it used to be. Damn, I thought that was closer.
Teacher?
Part time.